the people will want to come here. We are among the highest taxed county in the state of Texas. How are we going to attract people? Folks, I work at a radio station, and there was talk about moving it. It's been here 50 some odd years. And not too long ago, there was talk about moving it, and I had a call. I don't own that radio station. I did at one time, I don't now. People in Houston own it, and they called me. And they wanted me to see what we could, they have the tax increase substantial. Their towers made out of gold or something. And he wanted me to do something about the taxes, or they were going to move that radio station out of Karnes County, and it's been here for over 50 years. We've got to stop that. We've got to get our taxes back down to something livable. And I think that's the answer to that question. Let's get our taxes so that we can attract businesses to come in here. We've gotten a few. Walmart has built a new building, and we have a Tractor Supply that has come into Kennedy. But it's so slow, and it's never going to boom, but it can be better than it is. But we have to get the taxes right.
Thank you. Mr. Ali?
One of the first things that we can do that I became poignantly aware of, the census report is coming out, and if we can realistically report the census we have, there are companies, when we hit certain census factors, numbers of population, that will send businesses in. So that's one of the first things we can do. We have to actually go out and approach corporations to bring businesses in. There was a chance of having a Walmart distribution center here that, from my understanding, we lost because the county wouldn't put them a road in. Yes, you have to give them tax incentives, but it will pay off in the future. We need to form committees, maybe with the mayor, and have people that are good at going out and finding corporations to come in, and maybe pay them to bring them in. The prosperity of this county depends on the businesses we can bring in. Our tax base can't support anymore. And I'd like to develop a 5 to 10 year plan towards that goal. It's not going to happen overnight, but in 5 to 10 years, there's no reason that it cannot happen, especially with the help of influential people and people that want to make it work.
Thank you. Mr. Tennant, 2 minutes. That's what everybody got, and I just need to remind you. I'm willing to restart the clock for you. How's that? Start talking, push this button.
On your mark. Thank you very much. All of us lived through the period of the decline of resources in Karnes County. First it was the uranium, then it was the oil, and then it was the cattle. The cattle had come back, but the point was 30 years ago, and for most of you that was when you were teenagers. Some of us were older than that then. But the point is that living off the resources of the county and making a living off of those natural resources is probably a thing of the past. Cattle business is still good, but you're not going to get in the uranium business. And if the Eagle Ford Shale says everything that it says it's going to do, well, then we don't even need to have this conversation, right? They're going to have giveaway stations at every corner. Well, I've talked to listened to oil companies before, and I hope you won't put your money on it happening that way. There are certain aspects of Karnes County which are unique. There are certain deficits which Karnes County has which are unique. This is not Miami Beach. We are too far from San Antonio, too far from Corpus Christi for light manufacturing to be transported economically by road. It just jacks the price up. You can ask any one of those companies, and that's the reason that they're not lining up here. The ones that do line up are in connection with the Eagle Ford Shale or the other oil explorations. There are some wonderful aspects of Karnes County, but they are not its mega population growth centers. People who are thinking, well, gosh, if we just had another 100,000 people here, even my business would be successful. But that's not going to happen. I suggest that they do what they do best. If we were to take a cue, let's say, from the South Dakota tourism board and plant bird grain in easements of the county roads that come to head. The doves would black out the sky in Karnes County. You could make Karnes County a dove hunter's paradise. They tried it with the fest, but they kept looking at the county, the city limits. Here's Karnes City stops in Kennedy, so we can't let those guys over.
Thank you for your answer.
Yes. Well, anyway, I think there's some opportunities, but they're indigenous. And they're things that we all grew up knowing and loving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This question was directed specifically to one candidate, but we're going to turn it into all three for this purpose. It says, did you receive the paperwork you requested from Judge Kendall? Commissioner's Court can be characterized as unresponsive and incommunicative. What effort and initiatives will you put forth and undertake in order to restore communication with and responsiveness to the citizens of Karnes County? Mr. Utley?
I'm going to ask for a little more time after that once the DDD happens. We've been in the process throughout the 11 months of requesting paperwork from the county judge. He has delayed and delayed and delayed. The biggest thing I can tell you is that I will obey the law, and when paperwork is requested, I will put it out in a timely and reasonable fashion, and I will have nothing to hide. There will be open and responsive government. I look forward to you coming to the commissioners' meetings and talking with us, and there will be open and responsive government. Yes, I will produce paperwork and...
Mr. Tennant, same question.
That was my question. I looked over his shoulder. Whoever it was that answered it, on page 6 of today's paper is my long letter to Alger Kendall that our group has carefully put together, and it asks to produce each of those papers. It's on page 6 of the countywide of today. We asked Judge Kendall to produce each of the papers that they haven't. It's telling because some of those things are obligations of the county that close watchers, such as Mr. Utley, haven't been able to see. They've hidden them away. And I've even asked Kendall, because I suspect I know how this thing happened, would you identify all actions taken by Commissioner's Court that was intended to cure or replace actions previously taken in violation of the Texas Open Meetings Act? In other words, they did a run-through one time, and then they said, oh, yeah, those guys out there watching, taking notes. We're probably going to get fried on this one. Let's have another meeting. And they all come back in, and they say, all in favor, say. And they all go like that, and then they say, we've done it. You can see how that might happen, Judge. Well, I think that openness starts at the top and runs all the way down. When they start threatening the elected employees because they signed a petition against the courthouse, guess what? They're no longer our leaders, they're bullies. They're bullies, and they're trying to use their authority to create a little kind of a Duval County nest for themselves. And that's going to stop because we're going to have transparent government one way or the other. And with your help, and each of you knows 10 people who would like to be involved, who would like to have things happening they can rely on, this is the time to do it, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.